All right. Lauri Markkanen, not a punchable face. He's a sweetheart looking guy. Okay. Super nice looking kid. He is now, if you've missed it, add him to the list. We should just get a whiteboard. All right, you got Lauri Markkanen and Zach LaVine and Kyle Kuzma and Brandon Ingram. So you have a 2, a 2, 3, a 3, and a 4.
And then the Kings announced we've traded for Michael Porter Jr. Wait,
what? Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. Like, let me ask you guys this. I'm gonna give you here. Welcome back to the bi-weekly $250,000 suitcase bet. The Kings are going to make an impact trade. Mm-hmm. I'm basketball Jesus, and I'm telling you this. You have $250,000 to bet on one of the following. It will be either Markkanen, LaVine, Kuzma, or Ingram, or the field. Somebody we either haven't talked about, but
well, generally the safe bet there is the field, right? More choices, more bites at the apple, I guess, as you would say. But I just feel like there's too much smoke to all this. So if I'm picking, I'm betting on one of the 4. I'd want better odds. I'm only going with 4 players compared to the field.
From what I understand, both the Kings and the Warriors are actually in on Markkanen.
Yeah. And I got to believe the Warriors may be more desperate on that.
If it's a bidding war between the Warriors and the Kings, then I almost really don't want that trade to happen. Because what you don't want is the front office pressured into doing something where they're doing it just to do it. Because making a move out of impatience is the worst possible thing you can do. 1-800-920-1140. Good morning, Ashley.
Good morning. And while I definitely hear what you were saying in regards to, like, patience being a virtue when it comes to these types of things, I feel like it is, but I also feel like there is something to be said for making that trade a little bit early. Because, I mean, if you think about it, Kuzma has been in the running for numerous years. If we jumped on him last year or 2 years ago and pulled the trigger on a trade, then we would already have some team chemistry built up as well. And we wouldn't have to try and build that team chemistry and find that identity this year because we'd already have done that last year or 2 years ago. But on the subject of Markkanen, personally, I don't feel like the Kings are going to go after Markkanen. I feel like it's going to be one of the other 3 you mentioned or someone from the field due to the fact that, from what I'm hearing, if we do get Lauri, it would have to include Keegan from my understanding.
Thank you, Ashley. That's what the general consensus is. And we talked about that earlier. Either Keegan Murray will be involved, which I do think is the most likely case. I also don't know why we're applying rules to Monty McNair either.
Yeah.
Because here's my thing. I'm not saying he's going to trade Sabonis or Fox. What I'm saying is nobody had him trading Halliburton.
Right.
Halliburton was probably, wouldn't you say it's fair that if you'd have asked Sacramento Kings fans the day before that trade went down, who is the most untradeable King? Wouldn't Halliburton have been over Fox? Contract, the whole thing.
Maybe.
Remember, people were not high on De'Aaron Fox
for some crazy reason, but yeah. Guess contract.
I guess. A lot of it.
Yeah.
So I don't know what, it's like whenever we try to limit Monty McNair, he's not drafting a guard.
Right.
So no, I don't think Fox or Sabonis are going anywhere, but I wouldn't put anything past this front office. It's either, conventional wisdom is if you're getting a Markkanen, it's either going to be Keegan Murray involved or a buttload of draft cap, like 4 first round pick type capital involved.
Yeah.
So then it just comes down to, would you rather is Lauri Markkanen that much better than Brandon Ingram to justify the amount of capital you're going to have to give up for him?
Yeah, and sometimes, I'm not saying this is what's going on here, but sometimes if you are truly involved in these 4 things, if you're the Kings,
yes,
And obviously they haven't been able to land the plane to whatever.
Mhm.
So somebody's liking either the opposing team or the Kings.
Yes.
And then now all of a sudden another name comes out in marketing. Not that I wouldn't believe the Kings were interested, but it's like, hey, we're really close with the Bulls, or we're really close with the Pelicans or the Wizards. It's like, okay, let's drop this out there. You know, I believe that could be happening where it's like, yeah, we're interested in marketing, but I don't know how close we are. Maybe they're very close. But it's like, oh man, we need to put a little more pressure on the Pelicans or a little more pressure on the Bulls, whatever the team is. And it's like, wait, this deal may not happen. If they go this marketing route, then we're out.
Well, we're going all up,
and
down,
that's just
left, and
totally
right.
speculative.
No, you're 100% right.
That does happen.
The media is used as a pawn in order to help negotiate. By the way, none of these leaks could be coming from the Kings.
True. And, you know, it is a little bit fascinating that all of them are out there. I'm assuming they're true to some extent. How serious, I don't know, but true. You know, more times than I think the Kings, and especially under this group, have been better about keeping things relatively quiet. But again, may not be leaked from them, but there's a reason this is out.
You know, the funniest thing that happened would be like a 3-way trade where Laurie Marketing goes to New Orleans for Brandon Ingram and Washington's involved with Kuzma somehow.
Mm-hmm.
They just all trade with each other.
Right.
We're just like, or maybe we're on the side and we pick up, you know, whatever. And again, if I'm the Kings, I'm inquiring about Brandon Ingram, but I'm also very quiet. See, this is the type of move. I'm not saying this isn't going to happen, but this is the type of thing I 100% would not put past Monty McNair. Oh, all this talk about Brandon Ingram. Okay, well, you talk, and then maybe at one point during those talks, oh, by the way, what's going on with Herb Jones?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because quite frankly, if you gave me a choice between acquiring Brandon, and I want to make sure we're all on the same page here. If you told me for the same exact trade capital, I could get Herb Jones or Brandon Ingram, I would take Herb Jones in a heartbeat.
I would not.
Heartbeat.
Yeah.
You disagree with that?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Man. Because I think do I think Herb Jones is a better NBA player than Brandon Ingram? Mm-hmm. I do not.
Right.
I do not. Do I think Herb Jones is vastly superior at the thing the Kings need the most? I do. I also don't think Herb Jones, by the way, would take the same type. Well, maybe I'm wrong, by the way, but I don't think he'd take the same trade capital that Brandon Ingram would take. And then when I look at, I haven't looked at their numbers, by the way. Yeah. Jason, how can you say that? Herb Jones is going to make $13 million next year, 14 the following year, 15 the following year for a perennial all defensive first, second team guy that plays a position of need. He's 6'8". He's young. How could you want Brandon Ingram over Herb Jones? Help me understand.
He's a better player.
But is he a better player for the Kings? I mean, look, man, me and my stupid analogy.
You're going straight to defense. I'm not saying you're wrong for that. Herb Jones isn't anywhere close to the same offensive.
No, he's not. No.
Now Ingram's not the same defensive. So, like, which is the bigger issue? I mean, to have another person consistently get you buckets is pretty valuable. And I don't think Ingram's a sieve defensively.
I don't think he's a sieve. I just think he's Harrison Barnes. You think he's better?
Yeah, I do. But I mean,
incidentally, Herb Jones, by the way, last year averaged 11 points, 3.5 boards, 2.5 assists, 1.5 steals. This is actually interesting to me. Shot 41.8% from behind the arc, making 1.5 a game.
Mm-hmm.
So you do have a guy capable of efficiently hitting the 3-pointer, and you got your wing all defense team. You think the Kings, forget about the trade capital, forget about the money. You think if I sub out, let's say Harrison Barnes, well, let's say you sub out Kevin Huerter for Brandon Ingram next year, or and then the other team is you sub out Harrison Barnes for Herb Jones. You think the Brandon Ingram team has a better record? I mean, look, if you do, you do.
Yeah. Wow. And the other part of that, you're taking away from New Orleans.
By the way, you're taking away from New Orleans.
Yeah. But I mean, I think you're going to do more damage to New Orleans.
This is where we're supposed to like yell at each other.
And you said perennial. I mean, I'm trying to dump on her. Didn't he make it once? And still once is great.
Yeah.
I mean, like, so if let's just plug and play him on the Kings, is he all defense next year? Because he made it once, you know what I mean? I'm not saying that he can't be.
He is a reigning all defensive first teamer in 2024.
So he made it this year, which is great.
That's great. I think he's
He might.
He's a guy who's 25 years old that just, and even the couple years when he came in, like even after his rookie year, it was like, oh, dude, like he made the all rookie team, I believe, all rookie second team. It was like, because it wasn't because of his offense.
Right.
I love Herb Jones. All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, which offseason move do you like the most so far in the National Basketball Association, and which move